What's up, guys? As you can see, we got a little snow, a little spring storm. We are going to go on a little ride. We're going to be taking the one wheels out first, and then I'm going to be finishing off with the electric unicycle, getting some practice on that. Get the safety gear on. So one of my favorite things about the electric unicycle is how easy it is to carry it around. Okay, how am I going to ride the one wheel while transporting this? Ooh, a 90 degree. Let's work on the 90 and the 180 today.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks. I want to go over 2 quick, easy moves that you can learn for the one wheel to make yourself look like a pro. All right, it's really going to elevate your game, and they're really not that hard. Number 1 is the jump mount. With the jump mount, basically, in my case, since I ride regular, I jump off the ground, I lead with my left foot. My left foot hits the front foot pad first, pushes that front foot pad down, and levels the board, brings the back of the board up so that it smacks into my back foot, which is waiting to receive it. And so that's the jump mount. Slide Dog Stro does it all the time, and it really does make you look like a pro. It's a lot of fun. Second move you can do as a beginner or as an experienced rider, because I didn't learn how to do a real 180 until recently. So when doing a 180 at a standstill, number 1 is you crouch down to get low. Number 2, while you're crouching down, you turn your shoulders in the direction that you're going to be doing the 180. As you elevate, as you kind of jump up, it makes you light so that there's less friction between the wheel and the ground, making the 180 easier. As you're doing that, you torque your legs and the rest of your body to catch up with the way that you've turned your shoulders, and that'll do the 180. And so it's easier said than done, but with practice, it's actually not a very difficult maneuver. And once you get it down, it's pretty handy when you're in tight spots and you need to turn. So let's go and practice. Ethan is showing us how to do in 180. We watched a video by Chris Richardson. So it looks like when you do a 180, you start from the top down. Basically, you bend your knees to get low, you turn your shoulders and rotate the shoulders the direction that you're turning your board, and then as you lift your legs up to make yourself light, as Chris calls it, to kind of get the weight off of the board and to reduce the friction between the tire and the ground, you turn your hips and rotate the board, and there you go, the 180. Let's see it again. And so going on the dirt brings up a good point. There are surfaces that have less friction. If there weren't so much snow out, we'd be doing it on the grass, or we could go out onto the sandy baseball field, try it out there. We may even try it there. But basically, you can try it on lower friction surfaces before moving on to something like concrete or asphalt. So there it is, 2 easy tricks you can do to learn how to look like a pro right away on your one wheel. If you're still watching, now it's time for my favorite comments. You guys take the time to write the comments, I take the time to read them, and in this case, I will read some of my favorite comments. The first is from the famous comedian, Seth Rogen. I'm very flattered that Seth watches my YouTube videos. He asks, why do I heart all the comments even though some of them are negative? Well, Seth, as a comedian, you should know that there are people that will love your work and there are people that will hate your work and be very critical of your work. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch my videos, and I appreciate the critical comments that help me to grow and become a better YouTuber. Don't get me wrong, the YouTube negative comments sometimes do hurt, but that has taught me how to have a thick skin, and that has helped me to become a better person. So moving on to the next critical comment from Steven. Steven says, after criticizing Future Motion about the pint, then getting banned, I then suck up to them, thereby losing all credibility. Well, Steven, one of the things that sets humans apart is the ability to self-reflect, learn from our mistakes, and be able to adapt and grow as we gain more information. The more I learn about the pint, the more I like the strategy about expanding the footprint of Future Motion so they can solidify their place in the market. Next, I want to share a little bit of good news. This is Will. He was the winner of my giveaway a few videos back. He won a pair of those sweet Flatland 3D gloves. Thanks for entering the giveaway, Will. I have noticed that you haven't commented on any of my videos since you won those gloves, so leave me a comment so I know you're still watching. Next up is a comment from the famous Mr. Ed. He writes that he got to finally ride a Onewheel XR and he loved it. If you know the famous Mr. Ed, then you're probably just as old as I am. Next up we have SupDog2019. He says he can't wait till I get 1 million subs because then he can say he was my 233rd subscriber. SupDog, thanks for reminding me. The channel has truly grown. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers. The channel is just over 8 months old. I appreciate everyone who's helped me on this journey. Another favorite comment comes from Cody Smith. He tells me he needs an updated progress report on my EUC adventure ASAP. Cody, you're like my wife. When there's dishes to be done, she wants me to do them ASAP. And I tell Honey, well, the dishes aren't going anywhere. That usually doesn't work. I end up getting my wife mad, and I still have to do the dishes. So here's my EUC update. I love it. It's a ton of fun. I love the range, but I'm going to need more experience on the electric unicycle before I can give a fair comparison between that and the Onewheel. The next favorite comment comes from a longtime subscriber, Jorge, who also started his journey with the Onewheel and then introduced me to the electric unicycle through his comments. Jorge makes the bold prediction that I will use my Onewheel less and less. I will fall in love with the EUC, and over the next few months I will purchase multiple electric unicycles to feed my addiction as I fall in love with the speed, the power, and the range of the electric unicycles. So far I'm loving the electric unicycle. Over the next few months, let's see if Jorge's prediction comes true. Because it's still cold out, I'm going to share with you an update on these gloves here, the Flatland gloves. If you'll remember, I got a pair of these gloves to try, and I liked them, but the problem was there's this defect here. Well, Flatland they were kind enough to send me a new pair, and what they've done is they've actually reinforced that area. So I take out that plate in the back. What you can see is that weak area, that area of weakness. They've reinforced it with extra stitching. You can see how durable that is. I've been wearing these for a while now, testing them. So far, no tear. So now these are my favorite cold weather gloves.